Malt liquor video. It's been an odd week. Cap goes in pocket. Malt liquor. So I've been feeling stressed, you know? Imagine the vast majority of people feeling stressed. Pandemic. Just doing the best I can. I'm lucky that I could take some time off work. My work is very understanding and very generous. And one of the repercussions of stress, sometimes I suffer from insomnia. So 2 nights ago, I think it was around between 2 a.m. and midnight, I woke up. And I was up till almost 6 o'clock. You're like, at some point in time, after hour, you're like, should I go do something? I don't know. But it was just nice to just kind of like lay in bed and like look at Reddit endlessly scrolling Reddit. So last night I didn't sleep much. And then it got super sunshiny. And show you my crazy yard. So that window that's open is my kitchen, and that window to the left is my bedroom. And as you can see, the sunshine goes right the fuck in there. And so I didn't get much sleep. Sun came up. I'm like, God, looks like a gorgeous day. Akila was anxious, so he wanted to go outside first thing. So I didn't even really get the coffee I wanted. Get to the dog park, and there's this endless. This guy that he just wanted to have his dogs off leash. It's not an off leash dog park. He had young dogs too, so he can't control them. He was yelling at them. They were running all over the place. And he's like, "Is this cool?" I'm like, "Well, no, it's not. I'll just get far away from you guys." He's like, "Oh no, they're good." I'm like, "No, but it's not cool. I'll just get far away from you guys." And he got angry at me. And so, you know, that fucking pissed me off. I just met so many people in my life that like the way they do things requires other people to change their behavior, which is what I like about me. It's so much. I love it so much that the things I do don't require anyone else to modify their behavior, stop what they're doing, or anything else. Like I go out and have my good time. It's wonderful. Really enjoy myself. Come home. Malt liquor. And I came home, so I'm gonna start working on my yard, and I got some good news, and I was able to take care of some things that were bothering me, which makes like me move next down on the list of things that are bothering me. Like I haven't done my taxes yet. But I was just kind of reflecting on that, you know, like something happens, you feel this way, something else happens, you feel that way. I think it might actually be kind of like in comparison to how deeply you feel in all directions, maybe. Like if you're really stressed, something small like my flowers over there are blooming, my tulips. I planted about 100 tulips, and the squirrels dig them up. And here's what they do: they go bury them somewhere else. Because there was a while there where tulips would be blooming where I didn't plant them. I'm like, well, okay, as long as they're blooming. But then they dig them up again, and off they'd go. So I planted some actually in sticker bushes, and those are the only ones I have left. Like, so at first I was annoyed, and then I was happy. Like, I'm annoyed that, like, about 100 tulips have vanished, and then I'm happy that I end up with 12. It's a good investment. Oh. That's the thing, like, you can't tell. You know, the whole thing is, like, is something going to be good or bad? You just can't tell. You just have to let time go on. That was part of, like, my taking time off of work. Like, I know that they need me. They don't need me. I know that they need people. I know that they need human beings to do jobs. Um, but I worry that, like, what if because I choose to do that, though, it has a repercussion on me that lasts like a long time? Like, what if I end up with like lung damage, or something like that? I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know what is taking place for people. You hear stuff. You hear all sorts of stuff, though. So I don't know. I'm lucky in that I could choose to not have to deal with the public. So that's definitely a bright side. That's kind of like what I did in talk to my last video. Is like how I think about things is like in layers of like take these steps to protect these things, like and then you just keep moving back. You figure out when's your back gonna hit the wall, and then so what if your back hits the wall? What then? Because my back hitting the wall is not a fucking option. I've been in that situation where my back got really close to the wall, and I did not like it. A lot of that actually involved not poor planning on my part. A lot of that involved my plans contingent on trust in others. And I realized that if one of your safety nets is the trust in someone else, you don't know that safety net's there. Yeah, absolutely. They can tell you it's there all day long, and then you fall off the trapeze and go right past where that safety net was supposed to be. So, another thing I was thinking is like, I don't know 7 minutes. I don't know what I've been in pandemics before, and I wasn't too concerned. Like, I changed my behavior. I remember like telling people, like, people hand you stuff like, would you throw this away for me? I'm like, what in the world makes you think I throw stuff away? Like, what you just look at me and think that's the guy that throws stuff away for people? But people do it. Hey, would you hold this for a moment? I'm like, no, I'm not a holder either. I had a particular girlfriend that would try to hand me stuff for years. that was what she did. And sometimes you do it. Like, oh, all right, can we hold that? You done? Okay, there you go. And then sometimes she's like, hey, would you hold this? I'm like, sure. We're standing right next to tables, shelves. Like, I'm not some sort of like mobile cup holder. It's so weird. But man, that used to make her angry. That I eventually I just like, you just set it down, honey. Just set it down. or don't pick something up right before you do something that requires both of your hands. Plan ahead. I just realized she was one of those people that I counted on. Can you feel the static? It's funny when I get stressed and grumpy, my brain, I have like grumpy cards in my brain. My brain will start like flapping, like, oh God, remember that made you grumpy. How about that? And it used to be that if I had any moment of 10 minutes, almost 10 minutes, if I had any moment of long contemplation where my brain just like went free, and here's how I thought about it. I've said this before too, that my brain is like a river, and or maybe, yeah, it's like a river, but maybe I'm in a kayak or something. So like when things get technical and I'm right there with it, I flow and work with the environment. I stay there, but if like things get calmer, that anything in the surface would be like in your past, things that happened in your past are like rocks on the bed of the river of my mind. And if there's a boulder down there, because that one girlfriend that was always handing me stuff keeps popping up in my mind as someone who irritates me. Um, that there'll be ripples there because I've never really dealt with that boulder. And so if I went like on a long hike or a long bike rides were the worst. Just hour after hour, just like, God, remember how she just like, why was she doing that all the time? And I'm like, why am I still thinking about it? But really, if someone does something that you can't quite figure out obsessively, it'll scar you. It's just, there's just no two ways around it. I mean, I could think of a lot of examples of different people that have like an obsessive behavior that I will never forget. Because eventually you're just like, I can't be around that. And it's like, it seems so petty, right? But here's the thing. If you said like, I'm like, hey, would you hold this for a second? And you're like, Earl, you're right next to the table. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. Like, and also you hand me a lot of things. Like, I feel like you kind of treat me like a piece of furniture. I'm like, oh shit. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. You're not a piece of furniture. I was just like, I don't know. I'll just put stuff on the table. I think then I would also then forget about it. I'd be like this. Da-da-da. Anyway, what I was saying was, I just dropped that behavior. But if you can't drop that behavior, that's like disturbing to me. It's like you've been programmed and you can't stop. Like, I would like to see, even if they just did it for a while, like even if it went like a couple months and then they tried to hand me something, I'm like, yeah, you're falling for it again. They're like, oh yeah. But if they then in the next 30 minutes try to hand me something again, I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, you should be able to change your behavior, I guess. 12 minutes, that's really, I don't really have anything to say. I was just thinking about reflecting upon like, some things go wrong, some things go well. You need to have layers in between that so it's not like right up against your heart, you know, like that my walk out with the dog. I start thinking about things in my life almost like outside, the street in front of my house, my front yard, my living room, you know, my man shed. Like things get more and more personal the closer things get to my life. So having an interaction with somebody at the park that was negative, it's not so bad, it makes me grumpy. Having a good interaction with my workplace, which I've been in contact with in a real positive way, feels a little bit closer to home. But it also makes me feel more secure. You know, like they're like, oh yeah, we could work with you, oh, no problem. You know, that way it's not like, I don't feel like my back's against the wall, you know? That's when you start making crazy decisions. Keela, laying in the sun. All right, that's all I have to say. I had a lot to say, I guess.